Ladies, if you've been feeling like it's impossible to lose weight and it's way easier for your husband, you're not wrong. I hate to play the victim here, but it's true. For women, it is harder to lose weight. Welcome back, friends. Dr. Yaz, triple board certified endocrinologist and obesity specialist. And if you've ever felt losing weight is harder for you than it is for the man in your life, you are not alone. Today, we're diving deep into why that's the case and break down the science behind it. And most importantly, I'm going to give you specific evidence-based strategies to help you overcome these barriers to weight loss. I thought this would be a fun topic because I get this told in my office all the time. It'll be the kind of thing where the husband and wife come in together. A lot of couples like to do that at my office. And I think it's because, I love treating couples. I'll be honest with you. It's pretty fun. And my husband and I, we always have this joke. He coughs funny and he will lose 10 pounds. And for me, it always took a little bit more work. I'll give you a great example. I remember it was pandemic and we both got sick very early in the pandemic. We were in New York City. I was in my fellowship at Mount Sinai and literally we got in that February, March, I'm like right when the pandemic started, but no one actually knew what was happening quite yet. We got COVID. And we both were the sickest we've ever been in our entire lives. I did not lose 1 single pound. And this man lost 25 pounds. 25 pounds in literally 2 weeks. And it's just because, it's easier for men. No doubt about it. If you know me on this podcast, you know I'm all about discipline. I'm all about the things, but I will be honest here. Yeah, women have it a little harder. No doubt about it. So if you've ever wondered why weight loss seems to be so much harder for you as a woman, even when you're doing everything right, today we're going to explore the science of why this happens and how to work with your body's unique challenges. So the main reason, or one of the main reasons women find it hard to lose weight compared to men is because of hormonal fluctuations. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and go there. Estrogen. Women's higher levels of estrogen play a significant role in fat storage, particularly in the hips and thighs. And this, sorry to all the haters, is an evolutionary adaptation. So it means that women accumulate fat in ways that are more difficult to burn compared to men. The other thing is testosterone. Men have more testosterone, and this promotes muscle mass, and muscle burns more calories at rest, which means men tend to have a higher metabolism. The next thing is cortisol. Women are also more prone to cortisol-induced fat storage, especially in the abdominal area. And chronic stress can elevate cortisol, causing fat retention, making it even harder to shed weight. There's a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism that found estrogen promoting fat storage, particularly in the lower body, whereas testosterone aids in muscle building, increasing fat burning in men. So this is something that's studied. It's not just, made up. And there's other studies, one in psychoneuroendocrinology showing that women have a greater tendency to store abdominal fat when stressed due to elevated cortisol levels. And again, this is not science, but just from my clients and my patients, and honestly my girlfriends, women tend to carry the stress. We're the ones thinking about what the kids need, who's eating what. And this is, yes, a stereotype, okay? And this is generalized. And I'm sorry, please don't shoot the messenger. It's just the truth. In my circle of friends, in my patients, and my clients, women deal with the planning. We deal with the stress. And now women work more than ever. So it wasn't just like that was our job. Now a lot of times we're working too. No matter which way you dice it, I see that happening. So is that the reason the cortisol is higher? Probably not, but it doesn't help. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is the role of metabolism genetics in weight loss, okay? So do men really lose weight faster than women? Yes, it's not just in your head. I want to talk about how metabolism and genetics are making weight loss easier for them than us. So men have that higher BMR or basal metabolic rate because they have more muscle mass, period. They burn more calories even at rest. And women have a higher percentage of body fat, which does not require as much energy to maintain, meaning their metabolism is naturally slower. There's also genetic factors, okay? So certain genetic variants can predispose women to store fat more rapidly, especially in the hips, thighs, and abdominal area. And this is why women also can experience slower fat burning, making weight loss more challenging. So how can we combat this one fact, right? It would be really simple. Well, not simple, but doable. Incorporate strength training, okay? We want to boost our muscle mass. So we want to include strength training into our routine to build muscle, which will increase our BMR, which will help more calories at rest. So example, focusing on compound exercises like squats, lunges, push-ups, which work multiple groups at once, which increase muscle mass and boost metabolism. So I want you to aim at least twice a week, preferably even 3 to 4 times a week, increasing your muscle mass by strength training. There's a nice study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition which found men have a higher BMR when adjusted for body weight due to their muscle mass, right? So this is a known thing, okay? Now, the next thing I want to discuss is how our hormones are affecting our gut health on weight loss. See, gut health is a major player in weight loss than most people realize, especially for women during perimenopause and menopause. So let's talk about how a healthy gut is crucial for losing weight. So let's talk about the gut microbiome and weight. And we've talked about this in previous episodes, but basically your gut microbiome is a collection of bacteria in the digestive system. And an imbalanced microbiome, which is where we have more bad bacteria compared to good bacteria, will contribute to weight gain and make it harder to lose fat. And so during perimenopause and menopause, a woman's estrogen level will go down. And believe it or not, that affects the diversity of the gut bacteria, which directly leads to increased fat accumulation, particularly around the abdomen, particularly in the lower belly, making weight loss harder. And so I'm saying this on purpose because our estrogen, as it's coming down, is an issue. So a lot of people will tell me, where they want hormone replacement, they say, oh, well, if you have hot flashes, it's okay. Yeah, do hormone replacement. But honestly, if you're not feeling your best and you're noticing a change in your body composition, I'm not opposed for people going on hormone replacement for this reason, right? Because it would fix the gut microbiome that is changing as estrogen is declining. And I'm not saying you should treat or do that, but if someone wanted to, we should stop shaming people for wanting to fix their hormones. The other more natural way you can try to do this is probiotics. Okay, so probiotics, they're give you beneficial bacteria that help support digestion and maintain the healthy gut. And there's also prebiotics, which are fibers that feed the good bacteria. And together, they improve gut health, enhance digestion, and support metabolism. So one way you can incorporate this, of course, you can just take a pro and prebiotic, but you can also eat probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, kimchi, kefir, sauerkraut, and prebiotic-rich foods like garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus into your diet. If you add one serving of fermented food to your daily meals, such as a small bowl of Greek yogurt with chia seeds or sauerkraut as a side dish to your lunch, you could be improving your gut microbiome and therefore combating the things that are making it hard for you to lose weight as a woman, particularly in perimenopause and menopause. So, like I said, just to sum it up so far, so we have lower muscle mass, right, because of our estrogen compared to testosterone, right? So we want to increase the muscle mass. And then our gut microbiome, especially as estrogen starts to decline, will change and lead to more fat accumulation, particularly in the abdominal area. So we want to eat probiotics and prebiotics to help our gut microbiome and therefore go back to the way it was so it's easier to lose weight. There's nice studies on this. One in Nature Reviews found an imbalanced gut microbiome leads to increased inflammation and insulin resistance and fat retention, making weight loss more difficult, particularly in my diabetics. And another study showed improving the gut microbiome with probiotics and prebiotics improves insulin sensitivity and fat loss, which is so important for women who are diabetic in the perimenopause and menopausal stage. So if you've been ignoring your gut health, you might be your problem. Now, how will you know if you have a bad gut microbiome, right? Besides just being genetically a woman, going through perimenopause and menopause. One thing you can look for is UTIs. If you're someone who never had a urine infection in your life and now all of a sudden you're getting chronic urine infections, that is usually a sign of something wrong with the gut microbiome in my experience. When I have my patients start taking consistently a probiotic with a prebiotic, they notice the UTIs go down. Obviously, the other thing you could do is obviously great glucose control, because if you have better glucose control and less inflammation, the gut microbiome also does much better. Now, before we talk about strength training, but I really want to emphasize, if you're not lifting weights, you're missing out on one of the best ways to boost your metabolism. So let's talk about how muscle loss during perimenopause makes weight loss harder and what you can do about it. So estrogen levels decline during perimenopause. Women will experience a natural loss of muscle mass from this. And estrogen maintains that muscle tissue, and as its levels decrease, the muscle mass is lost at a faster rate. So since muscle burns more calories than fat, this loss results in a directly slower metabolism, making it harder to lose weight. Meaning, unless you eat less than you used to 5 years before, you will gain weight. So, the role of strength training, right, is essential for building muscle and boosting metabolism. Even women in their 40s and 50s can increase muscle mass through weight training. So don't let anyone fool you. You can increase your muscle mass and be in the best shape of your life in your 40s and 50s. And this will not only help with weight loss, but improve overall strength and your bone density. So I want you to think of what gives me bang for buck, right? If you try to work the little muscles, you're going to increase little muscle mass. But I want you to focus on those big muscles, okay? I want you to focus on exercises like squats, lunges, push-ups, deadlifts to your weekly routine, aiming for 2 to 3 sessions a week, focusing on compound movements that engage multiple muscle groups. A nice study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning found that resistance training increases muscle mass, boosts metabolism, and promotes fat loss in perimenopausal women. And in another study in obesity, they found that strength training helps preserve muscle mass during weight loss and increases your basal metabolic rate, making it easier for women to lose weight. And I see this all the time. People talk about, oh, when you lose weight, you lose muscle mass. And yes, for the most part, that's true, but you really can preserve and even increase muscle mass if you really focus on it by eating proper protein and working out. I see this all the time when people use one of those scales that shows your fat and muscle mass, on the scale, not just the weight. And I see when people incorporate strength training while they're losing weight, they preserve so much more of that muscle mass, and that keeps their metabolism going, which will prevent plateaus, which is the most frustrating thing in weight loss. So now that we really understand the science and the studies out there, let's get into practical solutions that you can implement today These are specific, evidence-backed strategies to help you lose weight sustainably. First of all, focus on whole food diets that include balanced macronutrients like protein, healthy fats, complex carbs. And I want you to use, whole grains like quinoa, brown rice instead of your refined carbs, and also swap out those processed snacks for whole food options like nuts, seeds, fruit. And then when strength training, I really want you to include 2 to 3 sessions a week, including compound movements like squats, lunges, deadlifts, and this will increase your muscle mass, boost the metabolism, and aid in weight loss. So start with 2 to 3 sets, maybe 10 to 12 reps of each exercise, and gradually increase the weight and resistance over time. There's so many online programs, there's so many apps, there's so much on YouTube showing you how to do this. You don't have to spend a fortune with a personal trainer, although it is good for accountability. So if you do want to do that, go for it. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is stress management. Like we said, women are more prone to increase cortisol, which promotes fat storage, especially in the abdominal region. So if we can manage our stress and lower our natural cortisol, right, this will make the weight loss easier. So incorporate stress-reducing activities like yoga, meditation, breathing exercises into your routine. Now, I can tell you all day, right? Incorporate this in your day. But how are you going to actually do that? This is what I suggest. When I plan my calendar for the week, right? I do that, usually every Sunday night, maybe Monday morning early, and I call it Monday Power Hour. And I learned this from Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School, how to actually make your calendar. And when I was doing this, the first thing you have to do is put in your you time. What do I mean by that? I mean, going into my sauna blanket. Yeah, if you don't have a sauna blanket, you need a sauna blanket. It's literally like a sleeping bag, but it gets like to the heat of a sauna. And that's great for boosting growth hormone and honestly de-stressing and detox. It's fantastic. Or things like my magnesium soaks or, yoga, meditation, whatever it is. I schedule that in my calendar before I even do my appointments. It is number one, because if I can take care of that and take care of myself, then my cortisol will be less and losing weight is much easier. Or in my case, maintaining weight. So it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. Schedule out that time. If you don't schedule when you're going to do it, you're never going to do it. Or at least if you do it, you'll keep up with it a week, 2, 3 max. Study that after 3 weeks of doing a new routine, unless it's intentional and done from discipline, the willpower will wear off. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can Google the research, honestly, because it is everywhere. But one study, research in psychoneuroendocrinology, showed that stress reduction techniques like yoga and meditation help lower cortisol levels, period, which we know directly improves fat loss and reduces belly fat. So today we learned that weight loss for women is more difficult than it is for men in general, okay? And this is a big generalization, but it is true. We do have certain things going against us. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. So I want you to understand the role of hormones, metabolism, and your gut health and muscle preservation as a first step to overcoming the challenges you may face. So remember, you're going to start strength training to build that muscle and increase metabolism, even if you're on your journey to lose weight. You're going to support that gut health with probiotics and prebiotics, whether via pill or food. You're going to manage your stress by scheduling the time for mindfulness and yoga. And you're going to eat a balanced diet focused on whole foods and macronutrients. And remember, weight loss is a journey, and your body's unique challenges require personalized solutions. So as a woman, you deserve a personalized solution for you. So please do so. Now, if you like this episode, make sure to leave a comment, subscribe, and let me know if you tried any of these tips and see if they're helpful. All right, guys, or should I say ladies, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next.